Welcome to the City of Bakersfield Planning Commission meeting. This television broadcast is made available through cooperation with the local cable companies, the County of Kern, and the City of Bakersfield. The Planning Commission meets on the first and third Thursdays of each month. You can watch the rebroadcast of this meeting Saturday at 7 p.m. and Sunday at 10 a.m. The planning meeting agenda is posted on the city's website at www.bakersfieldcity.us. Presiding over today's meeting, Chair Larry Coman.
Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to call to order the October 21st, 2021 Planning Commission meeting. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Coman.
Here.
Commissioner Lomas. Here. Commissioner Bashertash. Commissioner Biddle.
Here.
Commissioner Bowers.
Here.
Commissioner Cater.
Here.
Commissioner Wade.
Here.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for attending tonight's Planning Commission meeting. This commission provides an opportunity for public participation in the development process throughout the city of Bakersfield. The Planning Commission considers a wide variety of projects, including subdivision maps, zone changes, general plan amendments, and more. When applications are received, the City Planning Division analyzes the request. Planning staff will present the facts about the project along with their recommendation to the Planning Commission, who will approve the item or make a recommendation as appropriate. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Next item, public statements.
We will now receive public statements. This time is reserved for anyone who wishes to address the commission on any matter not on the public hearing portion of the agenda. If you are here on items 5A through 5B or item 6A, this is not the time to speak. Does anyone in the audience wish to address the commission? If so, please come forward and state your name. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Agenda item 4, consent items.
All matters listed under the consent items do not require a public hearing and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of said items unless a staff or commissioner requests specific items be discussed and or removed for separate action. May I have a motion approving consent items?
I'll make a motion.
That's Commissioner Cater. May I have a second, please?
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Bowers. Thank you. Madam Clerk, we have a vote. Here we go. We're using the electronic thing? All right. Thank you. Confirm. There we go. Okay.
Motion passes with Commissioner Bashertash absent.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Next item, agenda item 5, consent public hearings.
Now is the time for consent public hearing items. If the item is not removed by a commissioner, staff, or a member of the public, the commission will vote on all items in one motion without further comment. If an item is removed, it will be placed at the end of the non-consent public hearing items. At this time, I will open all of the consent public hearing items. Does any member of the public wish to remove the consent public hearing item for a further discussion? Does any commissioner or staff wish to remove a consent public hearing item? Okay. At this time, the consent public hearing items not removed are now closed. May I get a motion to adopt staff recommendation on the consent public hearing items and continue items 5A to the November 4th, 2021 Planning Commission meeting, and item 5B to the December 2nd, 2021 Planning Commission meeting?
Chair Coleman, just to clarify, we're leaving the hearings open and we're continuing them.
I'm sorry?
So initially you mentioned closing the public hearings, but we are keeping them open and continuing them to a certain date.
We're closing the public hearing on the item at this time or not?
No, we are continuing them to a certain date.
Okay, because that's what it says on my little thingy here, so.
Yes.
All right, so the items are remained open and will be continued. So items 5A will remain open and will be continued to November 4th, 2021. And item 5B will remain open and continue to the December 2nd, 2021 Planning Commission meeting. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you. May I have a motion to make that motion there?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to adopt.
Thank you. That was Commissioner Bowers. May I have a second, please?
I'll second that.
And Commissioner Biddle. Thank you. Madam Clerk, that's because we're going to go right to the vote thing.
Motion passes with Commissioner Basher-Tash absent.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Agenda item 6, non-consent public hearings.
Now is the time for non-consent public hearing items. Before we begin, I want to explain how each hearing will be conducted. Staff will first give a report, then those in favor of the project will be allowed to speak. Those in opposition to the project will be able to speak after all those in favor have spoken. Each side will be given 5 minutes to provide rebuttal comments. Individual speakers may ask questions during their statements, but the questions will not be answered until the public hearing on that item is closed. Written comments may be given to the clerk, who will provide copies to the commission. Please be respectful of others participating in the hearing by not repeating the remarks of previous speakers and by presenting any new comments or thoughts in a concise and clear way. Mr. Johnson, would you please provide us with your staff report on item 6A?
Thank you, Chair Coleman. Good evening, commissioners, members of the audience. This is item 6A, conditional use permit for a truck stop. I would like to note, and I'll describe it further in my presentation, we did receive a comment letter from the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District that requires a little bit more evaluation, and so therefore it is staff's recommendation that this item be continued to November 4th, 2021. However, we have had individuals come from out of state, so I would like to provide a summary of the project, open it up to public comment before a motion is made. So this project is located on the south side of State Route 119 or Taft Highway. It's about a quarter mile west of State Route 99. Project site is zoned M1 light manufacturing and M2 general manufacturing. Within the M2 zone, as you can see outlined there, truck stops are a permitted use. However, within the M1 zone, truck stops require a conditional use permit. This will be developed in 3 phases. The first phase will include a sump, automobile parking, automobile fuel area, convenience store, food court, and a truck fuel and weigh scale. Approximately 6 months later, phase 2 will include additional truck parking and a truck wash and tire repair and lubrication building. And that will be followed by phase 3, which will include a freight broker office and a truck sales area. It's important to note that Kern Delta Water District has a canal. They own a canal that bisects this site. We have a condition of approval that will require Kern Delta to sign off before any permits are issued. The plans have gone through the site plan review committee of the various departments shown on the screen, and it is being developed in compliance with city standards. Public notification was sent out. We received comments from the superintendent of schools, Kern County Public Works, Kern County Public Health, and the Sierra Club, and those were addressed in your staff report. Subsequent to that, a memo was transmitted with additional comments from Caltrans. Sierra Club had some follow-on comments, and Swanson Engineering, and that was provided to your commission in a memo. We did receive a late comment after that memo was transmitted, and that was from, again, San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District. A primary concern is that they requested a health risk screening assessment, HRA. And with that, there could potentially be some mitigation that's required, but the applicant has revised their air study showing that it doesn't meet that threshold for an HRA. They transmitted that to the Air Pollution Control District. APCD has commented back and indicated that the HRA is not required. However, staff has not seen that comment, so it would be inappropriate to provide you confirmation that that is correct. So therefore, staff is recommending additional time to review the comments from San Joaquin, respond to those comments, and we believe we can do that within a 2-week period. So therefore, we are requesting a continuance till November 4th. That completes staff's presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. The public hearing on this item is open. Is there anyone who wishes to speak in favor of the project? If so, please step to the microphone, identify yourself, and proceed.
Good evening, honorable commissioners and city staff. My name is Matt Fovella. I'm the engineer of record of the project, and I'm also the applicant for the conditional use permit before you tonight. Don't have a long presentation, but firstly, on behalf of our entire team, we want to thank city staff. They've been incredible, responsive, accessible, very good recommendations. That goes to both the planning department and public works department. On behalf of the owner, I can say that we've reviewed all the conditions of approval and we have no objection to any of them. They're very well written. Just a brief history of this project to put it in perspective. We've probably been working on this for well over 4 years. There was an initial iteration, which was simply a cul-de-sac running south off of Taft Highway. We did all the environmental studies. We obtained an approved parcel map for the project, approved site plan, submitted all master engineering studies, street improvement plans, and so forth. But the owners had a change of heart. They felt that an eastward connection from the north-south cul-de-sac to Campignoni Street would be better for circulation for the whole project. This was well received by Caltrans. They liked it. The city traffic engineers liked it, and we proceeded. Of course, in the first iteration, we went through all the environmental process, traffic impact studies, biota, air quality, and so forth. With the new revised map and this conditional use permit, we've prepared an updated traffic impact study. Caltrans is satisfied with that. The city's satisfied with that, as well as other environmental studies. That's just the brief history. This new alignment is an improvement for traffic flow, level of service of Taft Highway, future plans by Caltrans for widening the roadway. So just wanted to inform you of that. Again, I don't have a large presentation, but I would encourage you to, if you have questions, I'm happy to come up and answer anything. I'd like to introduce the project architect, sitting to my left, Carl Schaefer, and he does have a brief presentation of the project. Thank you for your time. Thank you, staff.
Please state your name and go ahead and make your presentation.
Carl Schaefer, Ideation Design Group, architect for the project. Chairman Coleman, commissioners, can we get the rendering of the site back up? So this project, like Matt said, has been in the works for years and has only gotten better over time. We've listened to staff. We've listened to staff from other commission meetings talking about landscaping and vegetation on the project. And you can see from the rendering that we have, I think, outdid the city standards for landscaping and creating more vegetation, which is going to help mitigate some of the gases and the diesel's work. One thing that should be noted, first I'm going to just introduce the owner of the project, which is Mr. Robbie Graywall and Harry Bueller, two project owners that have been more than patient on this project. But our estimates for the first year's revenue to this city is going to be $95 million of revenue, is what that project right there on the screen is going to bring in. And we're planning on 85 employees to begin with. Year two, 103 million, and year three is 119 million with 105 employees. So this is going to be an incredible project. One of the comments that were brought up previously was the amount of EV chargers that we're going to bring on this project. The California State Green Building Code only requires 7. We're going to provide 16, knowing that that is going to be the way of the future. We're also ready to pivot on a moment's notice for the rest of the project when trucks go to EV, which is inevitable. However, that technology doesn't exist yet, so we're going to stay with the diesel. But we're also going to look at the alternative fuels like CNG and hydrogen as it comes available. So again, I'll second Matt's opinion that the staff has been incredible to work with. We've listened to other commission hearing meetings and only made this project better over the last 4 years. So, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that'd like to speak in favor of the project? If so, please come to the microphone and state your name and proceed. Okay. Seeing none, is there anyone who wishes to speak in opposition to the project? If so, please step to the microphone, identify yourself, and proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Planning Commissioners. My name is Bob Swanson. I'm a civil engineer in town. Been here for 30 plus years. Matt, I used to work with Matt, so he and I are good friends. Haven't seen you for a long time, but we're good friends. I'm torn because I'm not objecting to the project, but I would like to make the project better for the clients that I'm representing. I'm representing Mr. Patel. He's with Emerjoit LLC, which is the owner of the AMPM, which is to the east of this project. And I might butcher the name of the street, but it's Campanoni? Campagnoni? Oh, good luck. Okay. It's come to his attention that this project was going to construct the connecting street, Bueller, and I just found out where Bueller and Gruel came from. So now I know the history of those two names. Mr. Patel is not opposed to the pilot travel project, but he has some serious concerns about its impact to his business, which will also affect the Chevron convenience store at the southeast corner of Highway 119 and Campagnoni, across from him to the east of him. The concern is the traffic patterns that will be present on opening day and the future traffic patterns that will be developed as Highway 119 is fully widened. There's no indication that we've seen in the maps, the plans, or written of the proposed site plan of how the turn lanes are going to work, the through lanes, the allowable turning movements from Gruel Street onto 119. We would request that a striping plan be provided prior to project approval so that the nearby property owners can understand how traffic movements will affect their homes and their businesses. Mr. Patel's main concern is that truck traffic coming from Highway 119 and Highway 99 will use Campagnoni Street to access the travel plaza. For the truck drivers exiting 99 going south, it will become apparent to them that the best route to the travel plaza will be to continue heading south through the signal at the off-ramp on Campagnoni Street to Bueller Street. This consists of all right turns, free right turns, only one signal at the 119. The trucks will be able to avoid stacking up westbound on Highway 119 trying to turn left into Gruel Street. For trucks leaving the travel plaza, this seems to be an actual larger concern for him. On Gruel Street, turning left out onto Highway 119 might present challenges during certain times of the day. Mr. Patel is not sure if Caltrans is allowing a left turn onto Highway 119 from Gruel, as the plans are still silent on this aspect. They don't show traffic patterns. His big concern, is that the trucks desiring to head west on 119 will choose to leave the travel plaza, heading on Gruel Street to Bueller Street, and then turn on Campagnoni Street. Then they will have a controlled left turn onto Highway 119 and Highway 99. This will cause problems for Mr. Patel's AM/PM store and the Chevron store to the east. I have a sketch, and I don't know if I can put that on here. Do I push something?
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Yeah, it's perfect. I was going to ask somebody to put that up, so that's perfect. Thank you very much.
Very good. So this is a overlay of the properties of the AM/PM, the Jack in the Box, the Chevron over here, the rental place, and the Pilot Travel Center right here. The Bueller Street right here was, as you said, an afterthought, which seems like a good idea for Pilot, and I would agree to that to a large extent. The problem we're having is, if you zoom in on this intersection right here, there are two, I don't know if you can zoom in on that or not, there's two semis shown right there at the traffic signal, and what they do is they block access to the AM/PM. And for cars entering on Campagnoni Street and turning into the AM/PM, it's not a problem. For cars exiting, the cars can't exit onto Campagnoni Street. They're blocked with just two semis. And I've been around Pilot. We worked on the Pilot in Lost Hills, and it's a very busy truck stop. There's a ton of trucks coming and going. So he's worried about people leaving his business, hurting him. The Chevron, it blocks their first driveway. So cars, Chevron does have a second driveway up here. So they can access that. A third truck would close off left turn movements into that Chevron. So that's the biggest concern Mr. Patel has on this. The second concern that I think needs to be addressed is that if truck traffic is allowed to exit the Pilot on Campagnoni Street, Campagnoni Street was built in 2007, and the plans I saw showed Matt as the engineer on that. So Matt's familiar with all this. It was designed in the county as a local industrial street. The pavement section was based on a traffic index of 6, which is what a lot of the Tenneco roads were developed as in the southwest. And most of those roads have been replaced long ago because a traffic index of 6 on those roads doesn't hold up well at all. The pavement section was 3.5 inches of AC, about that much, over a little less than half a foot of aggregate base. When we designed the pilot truck stop in Lost Hills, the traffic index used for that for Aloma Street on the east side was a traffic index of 11. When you calc out a traffic index of 11 compared to a 6, you get 6.5 inches of asphalt over 8.5 inches of ag base, which is 3 inches more of asphalt and ag base on the road. So we're very concerned that that road will not hold up the way it's built to the additional truck traffic. So the two issues, number one, the pavement design for Campagnoni, I don't think is designed right. And number two, my client in particular, would appreciate having the truck traffic not all directed to Campagnoni to exit the pilot. And most of the pilot trucks are in the rear, I think, the rear of the facility down here on the south part. If there was a way to get a signal to exit on, sorry, the other street. Yeah, what's the connecting, what's the rule? Yeah, if we could get a signal there, that would take care of probably 95% of the issue with Campagnoni, to have trucks leaving the same place that they come from. That would be our concerns. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Swanson. Is there anybody else that would like to speak in opposition to the project? If so, please step to the microphone, identify yourself, and proceed. Okay. Does any commissioner have any questions for the public on this item? Remember, this is not the time to express any opinions on the matter. It's only time to ask questions. All right. Okay. Is there anyone who wishes to provide a rebuttal on this item? If so, please be prepared to step to the podium, and each side will only have 5 minutes. So make your comments succinct without repeating the remarks of previous speakers to ensure that everyone wishing to provide rebuttal comments has a chance to do so.
Matt Vovella, LAV Pinnacle Engineering. I'd like to put basically the same exhibit that Mr. Swanson had up here. Anyways, just to address those comments, I guess one of the first ones Bob made was that they would like to see a striping plan. We are obligated to do that. We are also obligated to design a median in Taft Highway. That it likely won't be built as part of this project, just funded. So we have no objection to that. You know, as I indicated earlier, we've done probably 3 traffic impact studies on this project. All intersections show a very good level of service through the year 2042. That includes this intersection of Campagnoni, and truck traffic will use Campagnoni. They will also use Graywall as an entrance and exit. I'm quite confident the city will prefer Graywall entrance to be a right-in, right-out only. The only other route is Campagnoni. That's a signalized intersection. It processes truck traffic and vehicle traffic very efficiently. By the way, the traffic impact study indicated that the average vehicle delay is 30 seconds. That doesn't lend itself to vehicles lined up. The driveway for the AM/PM is roughly 135 feet to the south of Taft Highway. It would take more than 2 trucks lined up to block a turning movement to the north to reach Taft Highway. Furthermore, there's another drive access right on Taft Highway that can be utilized by the AMPM. So they have access, at two locations to Taft Highway. There's almost no traffic that goes south on Campagnoni. The driveway for the Chevron site here is roughly 170 feet south of the intersection. Again, the traffic impact study shows a very good level of service for all intersections. We studied to Weibel Road, H Street, to the west several miles. It's unlikely that we will be permitted a westbound left turn into the project. So that's not a point of conflict. I'm fairly confident Caltrans and the city will only permit a right in, right out. So we only have so many options. Just looking at my notes of the comments that Bob made. Again, there were comments, Bob was concerned about conflicts here for turning movements. Again, that will only be right in, right out. Mr. Swanson indicated concern over the structural section of Campagnoni. The only thing I can tell you on that, that's been a number of years, this area is all zoned industrial and commercial, and that roadway was designed to the standards of the agencies at the time. Caltrans reviewed it. I believe the county reviewed it. At the time, we were instrumental in realigning the southbound off-ramp and design of that signal there. And that signal indicates, even with annual increase in traffic of 2% annually, that intersection looks like it's going to operate at a good level of service through year 2040. So again, if there's anything that I haven't stated clearly or follow-up questions, I'm very happy to respond. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that wishes to provide rebuttal comments in favor of the project? Okay. We'll go ahead and reset the clock. Madam Clerk, I noticed that the clock's not showing up on the wall over there. I don't know if you have that capacity or not. Just on the screen? Okay. What's the other clocks for? I'm sorry. It's just, I can't help myself. I apologize. Okay, so let's go ahead and reset the clock, and then anybody who wishes to provide rebuttal comments in opposition to the project, please come to the microphone and state your name and proceed. And remember, you have a total of 5 minutes total for opposition. So
I won't take 5 minutes. Thank you. I was told by the client that, yes, there is an access onto Taft Highway, but it's a ride out only. It's at Jack in the Box, and it's a shared exit. So if you want to go left, the only way to get out is to go out to Campagnoni. And 2 trucks at 75 foot long is 150 feet, which is longer than the 135 feet where the driveway is. I don't agree with the structural section that Matt said. Yes, it was designed at the time to the correct standards, but the correct standards at that time was for Campagnoni to go up and handle its M1 use. And now we're doubling the amount of potential traffic on that street. The reason they have trucks stops not allowed in an M1 is because of the high volumes of trucks, and you need special standards for those. Thank you.
thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in rebuttal in opposition to the project? Okay. May I get a motion from a commissioner to continue the public hearing to November 4th, 2021, Planning Commission meeting?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to adopt.
Thank you, Commissioner Bowers. May I have a second, please?
I'll second that.
That's Commissioner Biddle. Madam Clerk, we have the little votey thing, please.
Motion passes with Commissioner Basher-Tash absent.
Thank you. So I now know what the clocks on the wall are for. They're actually for the time. I thought there was also supposed to be countdown clocks, so I apologize. It only took me a half an hour to figure that out. All right. So, Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Agenda item 7, communications.
Does staff have any communication items?
Just as a reminder, our next meeting would be November 4th.
All right. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Agenda item 8, commission comments.
Do any commissioners have any comments? It looks like a no. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Agenda item 9, adjournment.
Thank you. The meeting is adjourned at 6:05 p.m. Thank you.